Hi, everyone. It's Kelly from the Messy Brilliant Show, and I'm so excited today to talk to a mentor and a friend, Dawn Johnston. Sunny is an author, a renowned spiritual healer. She's an author of 20 books, which just blows my mind. It's amazing. And she's a psychic medium, and I'm really excited to speak with her today about her book and also about each of us needing to really come back to that place of self-love and acceptance of ourselves. So welcome, Sunny.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Really excited to have you. So can we start with just your story? Let's talk about how you became a psychic medium. What I love about you is that you're so grounded and practical, and that you really give all people, including women, the skills and the tools to be able to know themselves and love themselves. So maybe if we could just find out where you came from and how this happened, that would be great.
Sure. Well, of course, we all have a story, right? And so oftentimes the story leads us to where we are today. So for me, I started having experiences. I mean, that's just that I couldn't deny. So I think a lot of us have experiences and we can pass them off, or we can kind of go, that's weird. But, mine were they were too consistent. So the door opened for me at the age of 13. And at 13 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a beautiful, colorful winged being above my bed. And I'd never had an experience like that before. I didn't know what it was, but it wasn't even my conscious mind wasn't even thinking. I just felt like this wave of peace, of calm, of surrender, just kind of take me over, so much so that at 13, I rolled over and went back to sleep. I didn't fly out of the bed. I didn't rush my mom, like that's what I would have thought you would do. But it was so calming. And so when I woke up the next morning, I realized that wasn't a dream. It absolutely happened. And so I went downstairs to tell my mom what had happened. And she said, well, Sunny, that was your guardian angel.
Oh.
And I never even thought I had a guardian angel, honestly. I was kind of more of the victim mentality kid. I was like the one that I'd always get left out. Nobody cares about me. And, it's kind of the story I would tell myself. So when she said that, I was like, I don't know. But what she said after was what really got me. She said, I came into your room at 11 o'clock, and this had happened at 1 because I had looked at the clock. I came in your room at 11 and I prayed over you. And I asked God and the angels to keep you safe and to protect you, because she was concerned about my emotional and mental state. And so when she said that, there was a realization within me that said that I had awakened to the manifestation of her prayer. And I didn't know how or why. I didn't understand it all. I just knew that if that was the case, and I didn't know how else to explain it, then there was a whole nother world that nobody ever talked about, that wasn't being seen maybe with the same eyes that we were seeing everything else with. And that's what set me on my journey, so to speak.
That takes a lot of courage, though. I mean, to really dive into that whole other world and come out with it in such a grounded and practical way to support others. Was that challenging for you?
For sure. For sure. I think I didn't really love the world. And so I think it gave me some excitement that, there might be something else. There might be something beyond just this thing that we're all doing. And so that part, I think, is what drove me. But at the same time, I am very grounded. I have one foot in the spiritual side and one foot in the physical side. Very much that's how I've lived my life. And so I think that for me, I was raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. So just that grounded me.
Right.
Because it wasn't like everybody went, oh, cool, that's cool. It was, you're nuts, you're crazy, you're making shit up, whatever.
Right,
What happened is it helped me to balance some of those experiences to go, okay, is this like real, or is this just what you want to experience? So I had a lot of that back and forth, and I had a lot of that struggle with trusting my intuition, trusting those experiences, because I had so many voices saying other things. But now, 30 years later, I appreciate that, because it really did cause me to dig deep. It caused me to make sure that was true, and to stand up for my truth to, when people were trying to say, you need to go to church and fix that, I knew that there was something deeper inside of me that was saying, yeah, this is your way. But at the same time that I knew it, like a lot of us do, especially women, I think, because we are so naturally intuitive, everyone is, that I struggled, I fought it. And so I'd do this dance. I'd trust for a little while, and then I'd be like,
I'm not into that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I did that for 15 years, honestly. And did this, and I had some experiences that were life-saving and life-changing. And then I'd get into my ego and go, oh, it's easier just to look at the world from this perspective. So I did that until the death of my mother-in-law. And when my mother-in-law passed, that's when she haunted me, honestly, if we're just to be honest. My mother-in-law passed, my grandmother passed 6 months later. Between the two of them, they're like, you are going to do
this
your
is
work.
what you need to do. This is your work. This is your service to the world, right?
Exactly. And that kickstarted me, and it was like, okay, it's no more games, Sunny. No more pretending you are who you aren't. No more acting like you don't have these experiences. No more keeping quiet when other people are. It's time to show up. And so at 28 is when the doors swung open, and, and I've been doing it for, 18 years now, I guess.
And
so.
I love when you say it's time to show up, because I've heard that several days in a row, and, you hear those messages over and over again. Those are those angels. It's just like someone was saying yesterday, well, I was just told, just show up. I actually was meeting with someone, and she said, well, how do I know if people will come to my conferences? It doesn't matter. The shaman told her, just show up, baby. You know what? It doesn't matter. And you just said it as well. Sometimes you have to, show up in your truth and your passion. And that's what we're talking to our community about at Women for One. But I want to talk a little bit before we get into your book about intuition, that word. Because for me personally, I feel like it's more of a muscle that you nurture, kind of like working out. That's my belief. So I wanted to ask you what your definition of intuition is, but more importantly, I know what you believe, but I want you to tell our community, like, does everybody have an intuition they can tap into, and how do they do that?
Mm-hmm. So absolutely, those are the words I would use. It's a muscle. So everyone has the ability. All of us have muscles. Mm-hmm. Some of them are really developed. Some of them not so much, right? Sometimes when we put a lot of attention on it, they grow and they get stronger. And when we don't put attention on them, they get weaker. When we nurture them, they expand. When we don't nurture them, they contract. So intuition is very much like a muscle. It's something that's there. We have access to it, but it isn't necessarily something that we all use, but we all can. And so why do we not use it? I don't know why people don't use it. It doesn't actually make any sense to me why we don't use it. Because it's so helpful.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Out of our freaking head, like my head makes me crazy. This is what moves us. Mm-hmm. And I think that all of us know that. We've experienced it. We've had those moments. But sometimes the head just overrides everything. So yes, does everyone have access to their intuition? Absolutely. Does everyone listen to it? I think they do at different times. They just don't give it the credit it deserves. They go, oh, I had this funny feeling, so I did it. We negate it,
Right.
Oh, this thing happened, so I just decided to follow it because I didn't know what else to do. That's our intuition speaking. And most of the time, I just said this to a class a couple weeks ago, most of the time intuition doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. Our head is what tries to figure everything out and make this beautiful plan that most of the time doesn't work exactly the way that we think it's supposed to. Intuition is the thing that seems kind of like out there. That's how it works, but it's deep. It comes from this sense of knowing that when we follow it, things just flow. And when we don't follow it, we can feel that push against. And I think we've all had experiences like that, but we don't always recognize why that's happening. So for me, intuition, I would trust my intuition over and above anything anybody ever says to me ever. So if somebody said something and my intuition,
said
you just
no,
get
or
exactly.
Sometimes it's a loud no, right? And sometimes it's like no.
Yeah. I wish that it was just like do not do this, Sunny.
Right.
That's not how it works for me. Maybe it works like that for some people. It doesn't work that way for me. So instead, mine is very much subtle. And then sometimes I need I call it the spiritual 2x4. Boom, pay attention now, right? And so I think that it can be very subtle, so much so that it's almost like a breeze blowing. We hardly even notice it.
It's a whisper, like a whisper sometimes, right?
Very gentle. And it's a whisper inside. It's that sense of, gosh, I want to call my mom right now. And I don't know, I don't usually call my mom, but my mom is going through something, or there's a challenge so it can be, especially if we're connecting with the angels. The angels are very subtle. When we start getting into more spirit guides or deceased loved ones, it gets a little louder because they have a little more density in their energy. So it's a little stronger. The angels have a very subtle way of expressing and sharing messages until or unless we're not paying attention. And then it just gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder and a little bit louder.
Even the angels get louder and louder?
They do.
If you're not paying attention.
Absolutely. Because we have free will, so they can't just force their will upon us, but they can highlight, kind of like we do as parents, right? Really? Are you sure you want to go this direction? Because here's the layout. So it does, but it's still a subtle energy. It's not a slap in the face like that. It's a subtle energy. If it's a slap in the face, that's usually our loved ones in spirit that are saying, seriously, come on, pay attention.
Okay, so I have this really random question now that you said that, because I just learned so much from you and all of your books. So you're connected to the angels, but you also have a direct guide sometimes when you speak with people, psychic medium, with their family and their friends. Yes. And you talk about the different energy. I'm just curious, because for me, I'm tapped in. I don't talk about a lot, but I'm tapped into I hear different people coming to me, and I can discern who they are. Yep. I'm not as tapped into the angels as much, the frequency of the angels for some reason, but I can hear different people coming to me. So how do you discern whether to, listen to these people that have passed, and really follow their guidance? Because, my personal belief is sometimes, we have free will, right? So we don't need to listen to people that have passed from us. That's just their opinion.
It's their guidance, not necessarily
their guidance, right?
Exactly. So the discerning, the way we discern is that our loved ones that have had physical body, that are in spirit, their vibration is the most dense. The reason their vibration is the most dense is because they had a physical body.
They were just here.
So because they had a physical body, their vibration automatically raises, but it's the most dense connected. We're the most dense. They're the next dense. Okay. Then we have spirit guides that have kind of evolved. They have more wisdom. They're not just loved ones. They've walked a physical journey. So they have a little bit higher vibration than our loved ones in spirit guides do. Then we've got the angels and the archangels, the ascended masters. They are the highest vibration. So when we are connecting with deceased loved ones, certainly their personalities in the way that we understood them can still come through. And we can.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Yes. So I've had, my grandmother's like, Sunny, change your hair color,
You're like, wait a minute, I'm allowed to have whatever hair color I want, right?
I'm like, are you kidding? I didn't listen to you when you were here. Why would I listen to you now? So, and when I've done readings for people throughout the years, we've had all kinds of spirits have come through to give suggestions and ideas and opinions. And I think the way that you know to follow it or not is you feel it. If it's a confirmation, it validates something, and it's just giving you a highlight saying, yes, you're right. You feel it. Mm-hmm. And when it pushes against, it's like,
it's push energy. Yeah. It's like,
me the contrast.
Right. Yeah. Right. So tapping into those angels, how do we do that? How do we tap into our angels?
Well, we raise our vibration. So the lower our vibration is, the harder it is to connect with the spirit world.
Okay, well, apparently I'm still working it, Sunny. Someday
you're not connecting with the spirit world, but a lot of times people they resonate. A lot of psychic mediums, they just hang out in that vibe. They connect more with that vibration. There's a lot of energies, especially shaman, that connect more with the spirit guide energy. Mm-hmm. So it's just really the way our vibrations tune in and we can observe energy better in some areas, some vibrations than others. And then there's people that connect with the angels. It doesn't mean we're better or worse.
Thank you. Yes.
Higher vibration.
Right. I love that. I love that you can say that. It isn't about being better or worse or more evolved or not. It's not about that at all. It's just a different vibration.
And it's just like the easiest way to explain that is a radio dial. Back when we had dials. So, it'd be 87.8 or 107.9. 107.9 isn't better than 88.8. It's just different. 97.3 isn't better than 102.5. It's just different. It's just, you're just dialed in differently. So that keeps because we like to, the ego likes to tell all kinds of stories. So that just keeps it clear that we're just on a different page.
Right, right. I love that. And okay, so I want to show everybody this book, which will be on our site as well. This is your latest book, which is so aligned with Women for One because it's a grouping. Is it all women or there's some men?
There's actually, I think, 4 men
There's
in it.
4 men, so it's mostly
4 men
women.
that love women. 4 men that love women.
That are very attuned to their feminine.
That's right.
Yes. It is called 365 Days of Angel Prayers, which I opened today because I needed a prayer for a dear friend. And what I love about it is it's an anthology and it's a collection of stories, which is what Women for One is about. Not stories, but readings with the beginning of each chapter with a beautiful sharing from the sponsors of the book. And I just think it's so amazing that you got all of these people that are connected to the angels to do this book. How did this evolve? I want to talk about this book.
Well, so this book was published originally actually 4 years ago. And I didn't publish it. Someone else published it. And in December of 2016, so 6 months ago from when we're taping this, the publishers came to me and said, we're going to go with another publisher because we're ready to go in another direction. So we're going to let the book go and we're going to offer it to this other publisher. And I didn't even realize that I had done this, which happens a lot. But I wrote back and said, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, let me know. I don't know why I said that because I'm not a publisher. I don't do any of that. So, but my intuition, speaking of intuition, knew that it wasn't going to work out.
Okay.
And it also knew that I was supposed to be in charge of it. Sunny didn't know that, but my intuition knew that.
Personality didn't know it, but your gut did.
Yeah. So a couple weeks later, they said it didn't work out. We would love for you to have the book. And I'm like, what does that even mean? What do you mean? And they're like, well, we would like for you to take it and republish it in your own thing. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do that, which is always something that excites me because anytime I don't know how to do something, I want to figure out.
You want to figure it out. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So that was my challenge. Oh, okay. So my spirit was absolutely guided to recreate this book. So I did. There's 150 authors in the book, which is a lot of people to work with.
That's a lot of people to get permissions from and connect. Wow.
Sure is. So I thought it was going to be this thing where I would just put a new cover on it and put it out in the world, but that was not how it worked. So we recreated it. We re-put it out. We have about 75 new authors in it, and we just changed the energy of it so that it would be because the original book was beautiful and it was great, but it didn't have that that energy of excitement. It felt a little bit heavier, I guess I would say. And I wanted it to be intentional and heart-based and joyful. And I wanted it to all be prayers or intentions with the stories from each of the season authors and the chapter authors to support the messages in the book.
Wow, that's great. And it feels very cohesive. Energetically, it just feels like a cohesive work of art, and a compilation.
Work of art. I had no idea what I was doing or what I got.
What you got yourself into, but you just followed it, right? You just went for it.
You know what? That's the way to do it, though. When something comes to you and you don't have conscious awareness of it, and you say yes, there's something bigger moving through you. And it's touched so many people and so many hearts that I have been so honored to have listened, number one, but allowed that energy to move through to give opportunity to so many people.
Absolutely. And do you find that when, through the process of creating this book, you surrendered? Oops.
Oh, yeah.
You surrendered, correct?
Yes.
You surrendered to the process. And I find,
and I surrender to the, I know nothing, so teach me, like I'm going to have to learn this. And I didn't have an idea that I did know how to do it. So I think sometimes when we haven't walked that journey, we're better students because we're present in the experience versus thinking, okay, well, this is how you do it. So I knew that I just needed to be present.
It flows. It's much more flowing. So how can women or everyone use this book? I mean, I know how I did.
Yeah, the way I like to use it is I like to just flip it open. And whatever page I turn on, that's where my guidance, my intuition, spirit is saying, this is the message you need to hear today.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because it keeps it exciting for me because I can get bored easy. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go May 23rd. Okay. That's like it's too normal, I guess. So, but you can use it that way. And a lot of people really find that whatever day, whether you're following it day by day or whether you're just opening it, that whatever message you get that day is really in alignment with what you need to hear. And the day or the experiences of the day show you that.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. You just kind of align with that divine plan.
Yeah.
The day of, and just surrender to, this is my lesson today.
Yeah.
It's so,
and this is my prayer. This is my intention. And then just stay open to how that might show up or manifest in your life.
That's great. So I have another really big question for you around how, so many people and women in the world are struggling with that love and self-acceptance of themselves, and almost like a forgiveness of themselves and accepting who they are, and my upcoming book is coming out about just being where you are and accepting that messiness. And I wanted to ask you about it, and I find that all of your books I resonate with because they bring people into loving themselves, into the heart more, and self-acceptance from a really grounded place. So I just wanted to ask you to talk about that.
Well, I think, I loved your book because I have always kind of had the belief of bless your mess. If you created it, then you can heal it. And taking responsibility for whatever we've created is where the healing occurs, because then we go, you know what, I don't really like this part of me, but I'm just the observer of it, and I can make it different. I can adjust it. The reason self-love has been a foundation of every single thing that I do is because it's been my greatest life lesson. It honestly, it's been my greatest challenge in this physical journey has been to stay in the truth of who I am, which I believe I am love, to stay in that truth. And anytime that something does not feel good, anytime I have a judgment, a criticism about myself or somebody else, it means I'm out of alignment with who I truly am. The end. It's as simple as
Period.
that.
Say that. Can you say that again? I'm going to write that down. Anytime that I feel pain or judgment or criticism with myself or with somebody else, it's simply because I'm out of alignment with who I truly am. Because who I truly am is love. And so if I truly am love, anytime that I'm having a perception of anything other than that, it's because I'm out of alignment. So that doesn't make it right or wrong. It doesn't make you good or bad. It's just you're out of alignment. So if my car is out of alignment, what do? I go and I get it aligned, right? You get it tuned up.
Right. So I just need to tune myself up, tune myself back into the vibration of love. And it doesn't mean I judge myself because I got out of alignment. Getting out of alignment is natural as human beings because we're integrating this beautiful spirit in these physical bodies and we're finding the integration. But it's having the gentleness and the kindness and the compassion for ourselves and others to say, we are all love. All of us get out of alignment from time to time, but not get into judgment and resentment and all of those things. Anytime I observe pain in my body, in my mind, my heart, or my spirit, I'm just out of alignment.
How do you get back into alignment? How do you personally or how do you teach people? Because I know you do a lot of teaching and workshops around that.
Sure. For me, probably the first thing I do is acknowledge that I'm out. Sometimes
it's the awareness. Yeah, it's the awareness, right?
Oh man, where'd I go? We got to look around the corners. So that's probably the first thing. But then what I do is, most importantly, breathe. And I connect with my heart. I connect with my heart. So I usually touch my heart to pull me back into my presence of center. the heart is not only our center, heart center, it's the center of our body. It's a center. It's who we really are. And so oftentimes that's through, when I connect with my heart, it reminds me, okay, son, get back here. This is who you are. Get back here. And then oftentimes I ask for help. That was probably the hardest thing I had to learn was I asked for help from spirit. I asked for help from physical people. I just have to ask for help. Okay, help me get back into alignment. Let me see how I got out of alignment, maybe. What was it? What perception did you have? What judgment did you have? Where did you move out of? A lot of times I'll journal, I'll meditate, but I think probably if I was going to give one answer, I would do something that pulls me into joy. And that's different every single day, right? Because I'm not like a routine person. So I can't just be like okay, I'm going to do this because it's 8 o'clock. That's not me. Yeah. So, it might be music. It might be a joke. It might be going outside. It might be a bike ride. It might be playing with my dogs. It might be talking to my kids. It could be anything. But I think to me, joy is the highest expression of love.
I'm giggling because I love that you said that, because I'm conducting a summit tomorrow, an online summit, and they're asking how to manifest limitless possibility. And my answer is cultivate joy.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I'm so aligned with you. It's like cultivate joy.
Love it. Yeah.
Cultivate joy.
And I think we've become a joyless society. I think we've become a do. We're doing, and we have forgotten that this whole thing is about being.
Yes.
Being, not doing. We're human beings, not human doings.
I love that.
We've forgotten it,
Right.
We've forgotten it. So joy, I think, would be my ultimate response. But so like if meditation just irritates you and pisses you off, it's probably not going to be the thing to do right now.
And it's okay. Stop trying to get it right. Like find your own joy and passion, right?
Right. Don't try to put yourself. There were years where meditation was not my joy. So it would not, that's not benefiting you if it's something that you're pushing against. Eventually you might grow into it. I did, but it doesn't mean that you have to force yourself because that's what everybody says. You find your own way.
And customize your meditation, right? I love that. I customize it. Sometimes like before our call, I sat for 2 minutes and I spin my chakras, right? I do whatever feels right to me.
Exactly.
In the moment.
In that moment.
That's correct. So I love that. That's so great. So where can we find you and how can our community engage with you?
Well, gosh, I get around. No, I'm just kidding. So, of course, social media, Facebook. I do a lot of Facebook videos and things like that. My website, sunnydawnjohnston.com, my name. I have a group called Soul Food with Sunny where we do offer a lot of VIP stuff and tons of videos and things like that. So it's a little community that people can be a part of. And probably most importantly is they can get the book, because the book has all kinds of connection to beautiful and amazing souls that have channeled and written these messages to serve everyone else. And of course, the book's on my website. It's on Amazon. It's in the bookstores. So they can find it there. And
I will say that all of your books, I mean, I've read them very quickly on planes. I just can't get enough of them. I'll eat them up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, because I feel so aligned with what you're doing. And it's what I love about you is I've met a lot of psychic mediums and a lot of spiritual teachers and authors in my life. I love your grounded, practical nature of living in this world and having 2 feet, 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the other, because we are spiritual beings in a human body, correct?
Exactly. Right. And anytime we're in one side or the other, we're not staying present to the experience of why we were called here in the first place.
Right.
It's easy to get really, really spiritual and forget about the body. And it's easy to really focus on the body and forget about the spirit. And it's finding that harmony. It's not always easy for any of us, but it's finding that harmony to be really present in both experiences, I think is why we're here.
Well, and you are the embodiment of that. And I'm just so honored to know you. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's just been an incredible journey having you be a mentor to me and support me and Women for One. So thank you, Sunny.
Oh, well, thank you, sweetheart. I am happy to be a part of it and honored to be a part of your journey and all that you're creating in this world. I'm very excited out your book.
I know, but check out Sunny's book, 365 Days of Angel Prayers. I mean, how cool is that? I can't wait to just open it up randomly every day because I'm all about random and messy. Thanks, everyone.